Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Bahasham Wa Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like. To the rest of the church who believe as well. To you men who may not be teachers and prophets. You women and children also. And the water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. Okay? So I spoke about a brief testimony that I had experienced on my way to work. So with this video, I'm really not going to bring any real new information, but I want to bring it up, and a couple of other times that I've seen chariots within the past month and a half roughly. So, well, let's go back even further. There was a video I was watching, and it was Elder Apostle Gabar, and he was going into the topic of being melancholy. And he was saying in the video how he liked that word. And it's been a while before that video since I heard that word, but I remember thinking the same thing when I first came across that word, is how much of a beautiful word it is. Although in definition it doesn't go into beautiful whatsoever, but the word itself, it's a beautiful word. It rolls off the tongue really well. And he was going into in this video how a lot of us men on this path are in the spirit of melancholy oftentimes. Okay? Now if you don't know what that word means, just look it up. So as I was watching the video, I was, reflecting on that word even to the time of the video being over. I remember I had walked outside of my home. It was dark out. And just observing the sky. And I had that video on my mind. And I had that word on my mind. And I was listening to a song. And that word melancholy just kept playing in my head, as weird as that may sound. But as that word was playing in my head, I look up in the sky. I saw a chariot just shoot across the sky. It just zipped across the sky the second that I looked up and laid my eyes on the sky. And it was quick. It just zoomed like a shooting star. And I remember as it did that, I was reflecting on the word melancholy. All right? There was a time really more recent. This is probably last week or so. It's beautiful I brought up that word because in the spirit I was melancholy on my way to work. And, just kind of frustrated, had things on my mind or whatnot. Just one of those days where I felt like it wouldn't take much to really, tick me off. So as I was headed to work, I was at a stoplight, and it was my turn to go on a green light, to where I had to yield going left. But there was a car coming from my left, and instead of it stopping, it ran their light, and they ended up turning. And the guy honked, looked like he flipped me off, and it was his fault. And that just irritated me on top of being irritated. I remember I was so irritated, I took my glasses off as I was driving. I took a deep breath, and it was just like, how much can I take? How much can I go through? How much can I deal with? I remember it wasn't too long after that moment, maybe a minute later, as I'm driving, I turn on the highway, And I look up in the sky. This is during the daytime, you know, melancholy in the spirit, just real irritated, vexed in the spirit. I look up, and there's a chariot. It's hovering, and it goes bright, then it just disappears. And I saw it just in time, the second I looked up. And it boosted my spirit, you know. When I see the chariots, it always boosts me up. It really does, man. The reason why I see them so much, I'm not going to say it's because I'm doing anything different than any of you brothers, per se. I'm just grateful that I see them, you know. There was another time I was getting off work, roughly about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I was getting off work. It was early in the morning. I was just ready to go home. Body just really weary and tired. You know, same thing had happened again. I look up in the air in the blue sky, and I saw a bright light that looked like a star, just really bright, and it just faded out. You know, almost like seconds after I looked at it. So I see chariots, you know, all the time, but there's just certain moments where they do things that are just different than normal. So going into the point at hand, the reason why I'm doing this video, you know, reflecting on my testimony of seeing this chariot, okay? It's July 4th right now, so-called 4th of July. On my end, well, actually, to be typical, it's 12 o'clock, so it's July 5th. But, you know, the sun is still July 4th, if you know what I mean. Anyway, you know, I don't have this written down, you know, so I'm going to try to go in the spirit, you know, use the best of my memory that I possibly can through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Now, earlier in the day, I'm getting ready for work. I'm kind of running behind. You know, I'm not the type of guy that when I go to work, I'm clocking in 15, 20 minutes early. I'm usually right on the point of, you know, 5 till. On this day, I was a few minutes more behind than usual. You know, rushing to get to work. Before I went to work, I went to the gas station. And really, it was the gas station that kind of set me behind more than usual, because it was in my mind like, hey, I could either, you know, shoot straight to work or take the chance of hitting this gas station before I go to work. So I took that chance and hit the gas station, of course, which was about a 3-minute process, so it set me back 3 minutes, roughly longer than what I normally would get to work. So I'm driving to work. I take the highway to get to work, by the way, so I hop on the highway, and, you know, the second I get on the highway, I'm behind an ambulance, and I noticed the back of the ambulance truck. I can't remember what the numbers were, but the numbers equaled out to 9. And I remember, you know, I did a lesson on the number 9 and how the number 9 can represent judgment, you know, finality, because typically number 9 is the biggest number, because after the number 9, you know, numbers repeat themselves. So 9 is the biggest number, the final number, the number of judgment, the final call. I remember driving behind this ambulance truck and thinking, man, you're going to make me late. But then I was also thinking everything is Lord's will. I was also thinking that as well. You know, like everything's going to be Lord's will. Excuse me, I feel like I got something in my eye here. So, sorry about that. So as I'm driving behind this ambulance truck, I can see the woman on the stretcher. She's kind of just sitting up, looking out the back of the window. But I don't think she noticed me like I noticed her. You know, from my view, I could see her because the inside of the ambulance truck was lit up. So from her view, looking out the window, she would not have saw a clear view of me, but I see a clear view of this woman. And I remember in my head, I was thinking, man, I wonder what kind of, thing she did to get whatever judgment she's being put through. So take in mind, this ambulance, they're only doing about 40, 45 on the highway. And I'm thinking in my mind, come on, I'm trying to get to work. But I was already thinking spiritual. Really just observing this woman as she's sitting up on this stretcher looking lost, looking out the back of the window. And I'm looking at the number on the truck, equal out to 9. So, fast forward, I'm getting to work, I'm in the parking lot. Roughly got 10 minutes to clock in. But when I get to work, it's roughly a 5-minute walk, 5-6 minute walk before I get to the time clock. Something like that. It takes a little bit of time. It's a journey. So when you get to my job, you have to, clock in at this gate even before you get into the building. So you clock into this gate, you go to the gate, you're still outside the job. So I clock in at the gate. It's dark outside. I'm running behind, more behind as usual. And it's a little path between the gate and the job, roughly about a minute walk to get from the gate to get to the inside of the job. So on this minute walk of me getting to the job, I'm not really paying no mind to anything at the moment. I'm just kind of just walking, looking at my steps, making sure I don't trip over my feet or whatever the case may be. Seconds before I enter into my job, I look up. And like I said in the video before, I look up and the first thing that I said was, what the F? My jaw, my eyes were just open. And all I could just say to myself repeatedly is, what the f? What the f? I'm looking in the air. I'm seeing this. It looks like a fireball, man. Just hovering in the clouds. And the brightness of the fireball, as you see the fireball just kind of pulsating, just sitting in place. The light behind it, from its glory, you can see the light in this dark cloud. And the light is lighting up the cloud as it's fading out as the light stretches. You know what I mean? Because of the distance of the light would only go so far. So as the light is stretching out, you can see the light just fading out in the clouds. But, how can I put it? Let's say, trying to make an example here. Let's say my headband here was the chariot. The chariot was right in front of the clouds, but there was also some clouds in front of it to where, some of the bottom part of the chariot was blocked by the cloud. But the chariot was popped out to where you could see that it was in front of a cloud. It was in front of a cloud and behind a cloud. So it was popping out. And it's just pulsating. It just looked like a fireball. Like an amberish, like a light amber color. And it's just pulsating. And it looked like a fairly zoomed up vision of what you would normally see when you see in the sky a chariot looking like a star or whatever. It looked a lot more close. It was a lot more bold. It was just hovering there. I could just see it, like the fire, just the glory of the fire just pulsating. And there was just a nice light behind it, a nice aura behind it. And all I could say is, what the f? What the f? And the only reason why I didn't get it on video is because I was running late. And at my job, I've never been late. So you could take it as vain or vanity or whatever. I try to keep it that way. You know, F my job ain't important. You know, I could have made the sacrifice, but it was also in my mind that this isn't about, you know, trying to post videos of chariot sightings so people can believe me. It was in my spirit like, hey, I saw this with my own eyes. That's enough. I don't need to try to get this video posted up for views. I could have easily got that footage and posted it up, and you would have been amazed at what I saw, man. Because I can't express how beautiful it was. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was really amazing. And when I was walking up to my job as I saw it, I'm looking back because I had to say something. This thing was just so in your face and so obviously something from another world. Obviously something that is celestial. Like that, there is no way that could have been anything from this realm. There's no way, man. I look back, there's nobody around. There's nobody in front of me, behind me, on the side. It's just me on this path, man. And I look back, the closest person to me is just now about to clock in to go through the gate. He wasn't even on the path yet. I was the only one on this path to go into my job to see this. Maybe they saw it. I doubt it. I doubt it. Because, you know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh can blind the whole city. Can show something so obvious. That was obvious. Something from another realm. Okay? Just the glory of it, how it looked. You know? It looked like just fire. Just like fire. What's the word? Like, I don't know, like controlled fire. You know? Just like a controlled ball of fire, but more of like a light amber color. And even the clouds behind it were lit up because of its brightness. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? When I got inside the building, I forgot this part. When I got inside the building, because see, when I go inside the building, I take a path to where eventually I go back outside, and then I go back inside. So the path is, you know, there's the clock in, or not the clock in, but a gate where you have to, you know, swipe your ID badge. You walk the little path. Speaking of the path I take, you walk the little path, you go inside the building, then eventually you come across an area where you go back outside, you walk it, then you back inside. So as I go in the building, I'm walking, this is on my mind, like, wow, oh my God, you know, that just powered me up, that fired me up. I couldn't even get my mind off of it, man. I'm just dwelling like, wow, I've never seen something so amazing. Like, it was amazing looking, man. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying? By the time I made it to go outside before I clocked in, to go outside the second time, I look up in the sky, it was already gone, man. Just like that. Gone. I didn't see it anywhere. So, you know, it's just spiritual how the Lord does things, man. You know? And I felt like that was just for me to see. Now, I would hope you brothers and you few sisters out there who watch my videos from time to time that you believe me, because I don't have nothing to lie about. I wouldn't lie about something like that. You know what I mean? It just looked like a ball of fire, man, hovering in the sky. It just looked glorious. All right, so I'm gonna pull out, you know, a couple of scriptures and just wrap it up. You know, 2 Kings 6:15. And when the servant of the man of the power was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be us, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So the same thing is for us, man. You know, although we're surrounded by a lot of Jacobites, a lot of Israelites who don't care, They don't believe. They're non-believers. We're surrounded by heathen. We're surrounded by a lot of opposition. And when you look at the numbers, according to this world, we are outnumbered. You know, there's more people in this world that are against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai than those who are for him. But in actuality, in a realm that we don't see, there are actually more with us than they who are with them. Them being those of this world. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So imagine that. Imagine the Lord opening your eyes, your spiritual eyes, and you're just seeing angels and chariots everywhere, man. That would be a hell of a sight to see. And the reason why I know that is because off of what I just saw just a day and a half ago, okay, not even that long ago, if that had me in a state of amazement and awe, gazing, man, I was literally like gazing at the sky, like, even thinking about it, man, I still just like, it's like, wow, man. I literally was just gazing as I was walking fast. I was trying to hurry up and pull up my phone because it was at the last minute when I saw it as I'm walking up on the building. You know, I'm behind. Tried to pull out my camera. By the time I got my camera out, I was already so close to the building that view was blocked. And I decided, you know, I hesitated for a second. I stepped back. I had to see it one more time. I was behind, so I kept going, man. But it was just beautiful. It looked like fire. So this scripture here makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So I saw a chariot of fire, man, which we've been seeing these chariots. But I saw this chariot, it was totally different than how I would normally see them. It didn't look like your normal casual storm, man. It literally looked like a fireball that was contained in a circular form. Okay? Like a pulsating fireball. Okay? And the color of it was like a bright amber color. It wasn't a white light all the way. It was bright, but it had an amberish color behind it. Okay? And it was just sitting in front of the cloud, but in front of the cloud and behind the cloud at the same time, man. Most of it was exposed, but the part that was behind the cloud, which was the bottom part, was a little covered up. But most of it was just showing, just man. You know what I'm saying? So, I believe this stuff. I've seen it with my own eyes, man. I've seen many amazing things since I've been in this body, man. I've seen a lot of spiritual things, and I know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is real. And can't nobody, you know, make me feel any different. And I pray that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai never takes that spirit off me. You know? Isaiah This is Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. So remember, the chariots are also called the chariots of fire. So the Lord is not only coming with fire, the chariots themselves are fire. They're pure energy. Okay? Now, even though the chariots are pure energy, they're spiritual within themselves. They come gold, silver, you know, different precious emeralds and stones. But they're spiritual beings. They're spiritual vehicles, man. The vehicles themselves are spirits. Alright? And that's why when I looked up in the air, man, You know, really I'm lost for words. I don't really know what to say because it was so beautiful and I know exactly what it was. But I don't even know what to say, man. You know what I mean? It was beautiful that the Lord allowed me to see that, though. It was humbling. It powered me up. You know? Man. That's one of the things, you wish you could experience it with somebody else. So they could, feel the same way, see the same thing. And it was just an intense moment, man. It's still intense just thinking in my head that I even saw that. Like, I see chariots all the time. Just like earlier tonight, I was looking in the sky. I saw like 7, 8 chariots, looking like stars. But you can tell they're not stars. Not only that, they're the only so-called stars in the sky. The sky's so polluted, I don't even see stars here. So I know they're chariots because they pulsate, just everything, and you just got the eye to see. You can see these things. But I saw chariots earlier today, and it's always beautiful to see them. But when I saw it in the form that I saw just a couple days ago, man, it was almost like Yahweh Shai himself, or like they here, man. They're here. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is visiting the earth. He's here. Matter of fact, that just made me think of a scripture. I'm lost for words, brothers. The Lord didn't. I can tell you for a fact, the Lord didn't call me in this truth because I'm a great speaker, and I think that's also why I see a lot of the things I see, is because He knows I can't bring it out that great anyway. so a lot of the mystery is still there. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. It doesn't want to load up here. Try this again. Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. But when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. He's visiting the world which he made. The Lord is visiting us, man. He's here. He's literally here. The angels, man, that angel, whoever that was, whether it was Yahweh Shai himself, whether it was an angel, okay, which Yahweh Shai himself is an angel. He's the top angel. But whichever angel that was, man, that just proves they are here and they are watching us, man. That thing was close. Close. So close that when I looked at it, it made my heart skip a beat. And all I could say is, what the F? But it was a what the F and like an amazement. Not a what the F like what is this? It was a what the F like, oh my God. Like, I'm really seeing this right now. Like, my eyes is really locked on this right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really seeing this with my own eyes right now. But the Spirit didn't want me to record it, man. But there's a part of me that's kind of kicking myself in the butt. Like, man, I wish I would have. But I know I saw it. And I'll never forget that, man. Ever. So, Lord willing, you brothers were edifying, man. The Lord's watching us. He's on his way, man. He's close. He's here. Not only is he here, man, he's at the door. So we just gotta keep on believing. Stay strong, stay believing. Stay patient, stay humble. But at the same time, we boast on these heathen. We let the heathen know we are better than y'all. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know, we are righteously arrogant too now. But, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you know, hopefully we stay in this thing, we keep believing, and we get out of here far sooner than later. And according to just the signs and things that brothers are seeing, we don't have long left. So I had to get that off my chest, man. So all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Wa Rakakwadash. Shalom.